All right, another losing week last week for your boy. Week number 9 in the National Football League. I got 3 words. Come on, Jets. What the hell are you guys doing? Zach Wilson, can we get the head out of the derriere here? Get some movement in the passing game here for the New York Jets? But that's all right, because now it's time to get some winners. 5 winners coming up from me, Nick Kostos, the board of spreads, presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, and I am the king of betting on the National Football League. No, I'm not. If that were true, regicide would have been committed long ago. That's a good word, SAT word. Look it up, morons, and figure out what it means. So we're going to give you the 5 best bets coming up in moments, but first we pay homage to the board of spreads here ahead of week number 10 in the NFL. And as always, we start with the game that I have absolutely no interest in betting, and we will head to Germany on Sunday morning, to which we say Guten Morgen to everyone that will be up watching this game with the Colts and the Patriots. Oh man, how about Americans pissed last week that we sent the Chiefs and the Dolphins, one of the best games of the season, to Germany? Now Americans are happy because we sent Gardner Minshew and the Colts and Mac Jones and the New England Patriots to Frankfurt. All these German NFL fans are going to be like, what the hell is this, man? We went from driving a Ferrari to a Pinto with these 2 teams. God, this game's going to be terrible. And I actually have no interest in betting it. If it ever went up to 3, I'd consider the Patriots, but that ain't going to happen. I'll be up watching this game with my coffee, looking forward to it, but no bet for me on the Colts and the Patriots coming up from Frankfurt. Only one other game that I really actually don't have a lot of interest in betting this week, the Seattle Seahawks, #breakmybrain. I'm wrong on this team every single week. So I'll give you my lean for the game, and then you can bet the other side and get rich, because apparently I have no read on the Seattle Seahawks. All I know is Geno Smith turns it over so much. He turns it over constantly. Now Pete Carroll has to answer questions. The Carrollsaurus with his little arms and the small brain who doesn't know what he's doing on offense. Can Geno Smith stop turning the damn football over? But Seattle's a lot better than Washington. And I like Sam Howell, and the Commanders like Sam Howell. Great win for Washington last week. I guess like the point spread's right. I would only bet Washington. You know what that means. You should bet the Seattle Seahawks. I don't have a strong read on this game with the Seahawks and the Commanders coming up in the Pacific Northwest. Those are actually the only 2 games that I don't have interest in betting this week. The card is going to be absolutely massive, and how great is that? So now we will go to the games that I like but don't love for week number 10 in the National Football League, and we will begin on Thursday Night Football in the number 1 overall pick in the draft bowl. Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. We think it's going to be Justin Fields going for the Bears, but there's a chance that this will be Tyson Bagent, the secret Bagent man. Even if it's Bagent, this number is going to be 3 or more. Carolina without star pass rusher Brian Burns, and this offense has been absolutely terrible. There is reason to believe that Bryce Young might actually #stink, which is terrible for Carolina because the future's effed if that is the case. Here's how I want to bet this game. We want to wait until the last minute. Look, what time's 8:24 on Thursdays? It's 8:25? All right, at 8:24 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, we are going to, this is going to make you sick, so maybe take some medication beforehand so you don't vomit all over the place. We are going to click the button on the Carolina Panthers, baby. Because really, Chicago is better than Carolina, but 4 bet to win by margin to win you this bet? I mean, absolutely no way. So we will wait until the death, as they say across the pond, and we will bet the Carolina Panthers. And may God have mercy on all of us. The Carolina Panthers plus the points on Thursday night on the road in Chicago against the Bears. All right, next game that I like but don't love. How about C.J. Stroud last week? One of the best performances we've ever seen a rookie quarterback have. One thing, doing that against Tampa Bay. Carlton Davis, one of the worst games I've ever seen a quarterback play. God bless him. He's really rich. Won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Also, this is running after open receivers the entire week, then burying his head in his hands. What a brutal game for Tampa Bay, making C.J. Stroud look like Peyton Manning. Now C.J. Stroud stepping up in class, going up against Joe Burrow. Shout out to me. Told you the Bengals were going to beat the Bills last week. We'll ignore the rest of the picks, but that one was a good one for yours truly. So now stepping up in class for Stroud against Cincinnati. This point spread was over 7. Now this concerns Jamar Chase might not play in the game, and we are under 7. And with the spread being what it is now, there is only one decision you can possibly make, and it's to bet Cincinnati at this point spread. But if Chase is ever ruled in, it's going to go up, and then you'll have a decision make, and this will be bet your opinion, which is always really fun. And I think at this number right now, it's Cincinnati or nothing against the Houston Texans coming up on Sunday. Let's get a teaser rolling for this week. As we call it here on the Board of Spreads, the 2-team lock of the millennium teaser. There's no such thing as a lock, but hey, it sells. It's a sexy way to phrase it, so that's what we're going to do. This is an absolute lock. We have dominated the 2-team teasers this season here on the Board of Spreads. The 2-team teaser this week will be the Chargers up to plus 8.5 against the Lions. I like Detroit a little bit in the game, but this is what the Chargers do. They have like a magnetic pull on teams, except for the Jets, who are just absolutely terrible. A magnetic pull that they are going to play in close games. And if the Lions are up big in this game, Justin Herbert strolling on through the back door. Get your minds out of the gutter. I'm saying he's going to cover the spread. Chargers up to +8.5 is how I want to bet the Chargers game against the Lions. Otherwise, I like the under in this game. That number feels way too high with this dink and dunk Chargers offense. And we will tease the Chargers with America's quarterback, Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings. We'll talk more about him, Dobbs and the Vikings coming up. But Vikings +8.5, where you need the Saints to win by margin to lose you that bet. Someone tell me how Minnesota +8.5 isn't like the best teaser leg of the season. So, Minnesota +8.5 and the Chargers +8.5. The two-team teaser lock of the millennium coming up for week number 10 in the National Football League. We will get back to the Vikings and Saints as we move along. The next game that we like but don't love will be Tennessee and Tampa. You'll love it at Levis. Man, how good is Will Levis? How about all the NFL draft nicks, but before the draft are like, hey, this guy sucks. What do you ever do in Kentucky? This guy's terrible. Give me all these other quarterbacks. How stupid do all of you look now? How dumb do you look? Honestly, everyone's so vocal. This guy sucks. Or he's awesome, right? We watch him play. He's good. He's awesome. And the Titans doing the right thing by benching Ryan Tannehill. No disrespect to Tannehill. Had a nice career, especially in Tennessee. But this is the right move. You'll love it at Will Levis now starting for the Titans. Going up against Baker. Baker, good game last week, but blowing it at the end. The defense does against C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Lean towards Tennessee to win the game, but doesn't this total feel a little short? Look at what Tampa and Baker Mayfield did on offense last week. Titans, good run defense, terrible secondary. Tampa's going to be able to score in this game. And on the flip side, you'll love it at Levis. Throwing the ball downfield to DeAndre Hopkins. This total feels a couple points too short. Let's go over with the Titans and the Buccaneers coming up on Sunday. Fire the cannons from Tampa. All right, the next game that I like. Oh, yeah. You want to know why BetMGM's the king of sportsbooks? Not only do they have the best odds, not only do they have the best customer service, but they are a benevolent and magnanimous royalty, a benevolent king, a giving king, the king of sportsbooks. They have a promo code for you, a new user. If you don't have a BetMGM account, shame on you, but here's a chance you have to rectify this grievous error by using the promo code BOS, which stands for Border Spreads. BOS. You bet $10 on any game and you get $200. You have $10 you bet. You get $200 in bonus bets. This is an absolute no-brainer for new users. Sign up with the promo code BOS, $10 on any game, $200 in bonus bets. That promo code is BOS. And maybe you'll want to use that promo code coming up, AFC North Showdown in Baltimore. The Ravens may be the best team in football, annihilating the Seahawks last week, 37-3. There is a massive point spread against a really good Cleveland Browns team. The reason why the point spread's so big at 6 is because we don't know if Deshaun Watson's good or not. The Browns played a fake game last week against Clayton, named that tune. One of the worst offensive performances you'll ever see. Bit of a step up in class for the Browns defense this week against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense. It's Browns or nothing for me at this number, but I acknowledge the Ravens might absolutely wipe the mat with them this week. So lean towards Cleveland, but probably no bet for me coming up on the Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. All right, the next game that I like but don't love will be Sunday Night Football with the Jets and the Raiders. Hashtag WTF. Wrong team favored. The Raiders need to be favored in this game against the Jets. How are the Jets scoring in this game? Max Crosby's going to be living in the backfield next to Zach Wilson in this game. I like what I saw from Antonio Pierce. I love the cigar smoking in the locker room after the game. Lean into it, baby. Old school Raiders. They need to be cheating more also like the old Raiders used to do. You absolutely love it. Pride and poise. Commitment to excellence. Just cover, baby. Wrong team favored. Raiders, if I had to bet the game against the Jets, coming up on Sunday Night Football. And is there one more game? How many games do we have here? We got 6 games here. All right, the SGP Plus. Absolutely love it. The SGP Plus, and then we'll get back to Monday Night Football. All right, the SGP Plus. What is it? It's a same game parlay that you parlay. How awesome is that? Do you love same game parlays? Of course you do. They're absolutely awesome. Would you like to parlay your same game parlay? Duh. Let's get you a same game parlay plus right now, which is what we call it here at the King of Sportsbooks. This week's same game parlay plus. Last week, Jordan Love burned us. I hate Love. Love stinks. Yeah. This week, we will play the Steelers on the money line. Are they going to win this game by margin? I don't know. But Kenny Pickett will win the game at the end because he's got some deal with the devil or something. Steelers to win the game and Jordan Love under passing yards. Poor RIP Christian Watson fantasy owner. It's been a brutal season for us. Steelers money line, Jordan Love under passing yards, And then the Broncos to cover and Russell Wilson over passing yards. Your winning SGP Plus coming up for week number 10 in the NFL. We'll get back to Monday Night Football with the Broncos and the Bills in a second. But that takes us now to the 5 games that I absolutely love. The 5 best bets coming up for week number 10 in the NFL Board of Spreads presented by BetMGM. And for best bet number 1, we'll head to Duval for the 49ers and the Jaguars. Both teams coming off the bye. Now everyone thinks Brock Purdy, he's Purdy bad right now. And the 49ers riding a 3-game losing streak. And they stink. And the Jaguars are 6-2. And everyone loves Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson and Travis Etienne and Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley. And everyone loves the Jaguars. How could the point spread be 3? Answer. Because the Niners are still probably the second best team in the league. And I don't believe in this Jacksonville offense. And I think the defense is not as good as it's looked in the first half of the season. Best bet numero uno. Brock Purdy going to be pretty good. Also, Deebo Samuel's going to be back. Trent Williams likely to be back. Niners laying the 3. Best bet number 1 on Sunday at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Best bet number 2. Oh, baby. How about Josh Dobbs, America's quarterback, signed off the bench, coming off the bench, two days earlier traded for by the Minnesota Vikings, beating that moron, that mustachioed bozo Arthur Smith who refuses to use Bijan Robinson. He thinks you, the person watching this right now, he thinks you're an idiot because you disagree with what he does on offense. Actually, Arthur Smith, you're the idiot. And Josh Dobbs might have taken a step towards getting him fired by beating him last week. Josh Dobbs, America's quarterback. And this week, we get to back America. And I'm feeling patriotic, baby. Minnesota plus the 2.5. Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. Derek Allen to win by margin? No, sir. Minnesota plus the 2.5. Vikings win the game. Vikings plus 2.5. Skull. America. Vikings plus 2.5 against the New Orleans Saints. Oh, man. Best bet, we'll pick that up in a second. Best bet number 3, Falcons and Cardinals. Now look, I hate Arthur Smith. Let the record show I have been ahead of the curve on the Arthur Smith dislike. Now everyone dislikes him because of what he did last week by not giving Bijan Robinson the ball down by the goal line. We don't have to rehash it, although maybe I will. Kyle Pitts, 4th overall pick. Drake London, 8th overall pick. Bijan Robinson, 8th overall pick. Let's just not use any of these guys ever. Arthur Smith actually said this week, Bijan is excelling without the football. You drafted a running back 8th overall, so he'd be good without the ball. Next level genius. Or he's an absolute bozo. You can decide. But with that being said, I hate this. Kyler Murray's going to be back for Arizona. The Cardinals are probably going to close a favorite. That's wrong. I hate to say it, but best bet number 3, we will roll with the mustache. He's actually shaved the mustache, but still the mustachioed moron Arthur Smith. Falcons, dirty bird. Best bet number 3, the Atlanta Falcons to win in the desert against the Arizona Cardinals. Best bet number 4, I'm a Giants fan. You know what? My soul's been ripped out of my chest so many times at this point by this team in the last decade. We do have a number of Super Bowls recently, but it's been absolutely terrible. And now it's a Tommy DeVito, baby. How do people think this is going to go against Dallas? How are the Giants scoring in the game? Like, Dak has to throw a couple pick sixes, which is possible, but I think probably unlikely against this Giants defense right now. It's as easy as, is the point spread 17? No. Then should you bet Dallas? Yes. How about them Cowboys? Poor Tommy DeVito. You know what? Not poor Tommy DeVito. Screw him. The Giants stink. Cowboys laying the 16.5 against the New York Football Giants. Here we go. But when you do things live, we'll do it live. This is what happens. Best bet number 5. The Broncos are coming off the bye. Beat the Chiefs when we saw them last. Buffalo, inconsistent. Buffalo, not making the moves they should make, firing offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and getting someone new to call the plays. At what point do we all just accept that the Bills are not who we thought they were? I think it happens Tuesday morning or Monday night, depending on how late you want to stay up, because the Denver Broncos are not only going to cover the spread, I think they might win the game on Monday in Buffalo against Josh Allen and the Bills and get people talking about Russell Wilson and Sean Payton maybe starting to look like the team we thought they might be at the start of the year. Best bet number 5, Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, and the Broncos to cover the 7.5 on the road in Buffalo. And those are your best bets. Week number 10 in the National Football League presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. The board is spreads with me, Nick Kostos. Use that promo code BOS. Bet $10 for new users, $200 in free bets. We got teasers. We got same game parlay pluses, all sorts of good stuff here presented by BetMGM.